All praises unto Yahweh Shimi Al Shai, double honesty apostles of GMS, honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. This is going to be a video on, the signs of the times, and we'll start off with these precepts, and we'll go into the 3 articles I have in the background. I'm going to show you that pretty much the Lord's, hey man, things are popping off out here. That is, that go side by side, that go directly in line with what the scripture says. So this is the book of Mark, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse, and I bring this precept out all the time because this is the time when this precept really is going to show you that the scriptures are still in full effect. Because you got people out here that have you believe that the scriptures is done away with, or the scriptures there's no proof for the scriptures. Well, this is the proof of the scriptures, okay? Because everybody can feel it within their bones that we're at the end of this thing. We're at the end of the world, if you want to call it that. We're nearly at Armageddon, if you want to call it that, okay? So this is the time when the Lord is getting ready to come back, man, okay? And it's shown you to, it's going to be shown to you within the scriptures, and we're going to read some articles on it. So this is the book of Mark, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse, and it says, "For nation shall rise up against nation, all right, and they shall be earthquakes in divers places, and they shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrow." So what I'm about to show you here is the beginning of sorrow. Okay, this is not the end all be all of the judgment of the Most High, which we know as Yahweh Shimi Shai is going to bring upon the earth. This is just the beginning of it. Okay, these things that are happening right now were meant to be the indicator, all right, that we were about to get into what's known within the scriptures as the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay, which is going to be a time where the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, which constitute the vast majority of the Israelites out there, notwithstanding, you're going to have Israelites dispersed amongst the different nations. We always use examples like Tom Jones. We use examples like the man Bruce Lee. Those were people of Israelite descent, but they were scattered forth throughout the nations, and they, over a period of time, to the point where they were born and they lived and so on and so forth, they looked like the other nations. Okay, all right. This is the time where a lot of hell is going to go upon those people. A lot of judgment is going to go upon those people. Because what? Because they haven't followed the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Most High. They haven't taken heed to the men that the Lord has set up. The scripture talks about how the men, right? The men of the Lord are not going to be removed into a corner anymore. Okay, you're going to see your prophets. Okay, I believe that's in the book of Isaiah, and those prophets are out there. They're out there under the name GMS, man, right? Which is the men of the Most High, Yahweh Shimi Al Shai, is set up to push this truth. Okay, and part of this truth is getting into the prophecies as pertaining to the end of this society, man, which I'm about to get into right here. Okay, and I'm gonna use articles to do that. So, and this is directly dealing with Israelites, because we know out there in Ecuador, okay, there is a lot of Israelites. Okay, right. So this is, I'm gonna just read a little bit of this. It says, Ecuador earthquake, furthermore, Ecuador quake, death toll surges to 400. Okay, so they had an earthquake out there, and the numbers of the people that they were finding, dead and victims and so on and so forth, that number keeps on going up, man. All right. So it says, death toll from Ecuador 7.8 magnitude earthquake rose to 413 on Monday, which with many victims still believed to be trapped underneath the rubble. It says rescue efforts are ongoing. It says 9 countries sending experts to find, to help out and so on and so forth. It says over 2,000 people were injured in the quake. Okay, it says most victims were from western city of Puerto Rico, I think. It says, which is the home of 200,000 residents. Okay, so you've seen it. Pretty much the Most High is having it to where these earthquakes are beginning to play out up in the world, and that, man. Okay, so let me go on to the next one. Okay, this is the floods that you're having out there in Chile. Okay, this is again another region where you've got a lot of Israelites. But the point of these videos is not, is just to show you that these are the beginnings of sorrows, and you're seeing the Most High, bringing forth not only judgment, but bringing forth the word that He set forth from the foundations of the earth. He's bringing it to pass. Doth not the scripture say, my word goeth out before me? So this was the word of the Most High going out forth, and it's not returning unto the Lord void. Okay, it's accomplishing that which pleaseth the Most High. Okay, so it says massive floods hit Chile, power cuts. Okay, mines shut, it says 4 million people left without no fresh water, man. And you know what happens when you don't have no fresh water and you gotta drink this, what we know as stagnant water, which goes back into the truth, because the stagnant water brings forth disease, right? Of which disease is a combination of two words meaning dis-ease, meaning not to be at ease. Okay, right? And this is the times we're getting into a time when there's going to be a lot of people not at ease. There's going to be a lot of dis-ease, whether that be manifested physically within your body as actual diseases, whether it be by way of the soul, by Esau, okay, bringing forth his biological weapons, okay, whether that might be an attack from these other different countries, and they bring forth another biological weapon, and you get sick with the Ebola or whatever, okay, whatever disease that they bring forth. Or it might be just by way of them straight up, the ICBM nuclear missiles is going to come by way of Russia and hit them, and that's spoken about within the scripture, okay. And it says Chile's capital, Santiago, right, has been inundated with rains that caused the Mapocho River, right, to breach its banks and flow into one of the city's upbeat neighborhoods. Okay, and so it's affecting the people out there in the shanty, in the huts and all of that, man. And it says the calamity killed at least 2 people and left more than 4, right, short of water, man. And these articles here, where there's no immediate loss of people, they're the ones usually that have the most loss of people, man. For instance, if you have it to where a nuclear power plant, all right, has been leaking for months and months and months, and they detect the leak and say, look, we're gonna close this nuclear power plant down, you're gonna have it to where a lot of people is gonna have, you're gonna be at dis-ease by way of that. Okay, that event is gonna affect millions and millions of people, and also this, man, because we're gonna have malaria. You're gonna have it to where if you can't get, if there's no fresh water, there's not a lot you can do about that. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot you can do about that. But again, this is just an indicator of what the Most High is doing. All right, and that we're in the beginnings of sorrows, not even at the end, not even at the middle. We're at the beginning of it, man. Okay, now I found this article on the end of the American Dream, and this one's interesting because, if this one goes off, man, that'll be the thing, man. I'll pop a bottle to this one, because it says Yellowstone eruption in 2016. It says question mark. All right, it says a shocking new video shows what is really going on at Yellowstone. It says over the past week, our planet has been hit by a large earthquake after large earthquake. Okay, and it says according to the volcano discovery, there are 38 volcanoes around the world that are erupting right now. We have seen a dramatic spike in global seismic activity that is unlike anything we've seen in ages. Okay, that's another indicator of the signs of the times. All right, and it says and that is why we're going on at Yellowstone. And that is why what is going on at Yellowstone is so incredibly alarming. It says geologists tell us that the power of Mount St. Helens. It says geologists tell us that the full-blown eruption of Yellowstone supervolcano would be 2,000 times the power of Mount St. Helens volcanic eruption of 1980. Approximately 2/3 of a century of the country would immediately become uninhabitable. Right, and it says, and you will see below there are signs that something big is getting ready to happen at Yellowstone. Right, and if it does erupt, our lives will be permanently changed forever. Now, don't get me wrong, by any means, I'm not saying the volcano is gonna erupt or anything like that. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do, right, is show you that, look, we're living in the times that are spoken about within the scriptures, man. Right, the beginnings of the sorrows, man. So pretty much with that, you can take the articles away and read and get into them if you want. That's at the end of the American Dream. That's on, just Russia Today, so you can check those out for yourself. That scripture you should know pretty much. I go through the scripture a lot of times, man. You know, damn near off by heart. Okay, and, it's time to measure the times, man. So with that, I'm gonna say, all praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay, double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honestly, brothers, will be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.